Today, more and more people are buying cards online, and unfortunately, that also means people are unknowingly buying more fake cards. So today I'll share 4 of my tricks that I use to avoid buying fake cards online. So the first thing I always try to avoid is a sketchy deal. Now it may sound obvious, however a sketchy deal is sometimes not far away from a good deal. So here are a few clear warning signs I look out for. First of all, the price. If you see a card selling online way below market price, that's usually an immediate red flag to me, especially if they're selling expensive cards. Secondly, always check the seller's reviews. If you see bad reviews, almost no reviews, or brand new accounts, it's usually safer to stay away. Another thing I always look out for, are the pictures blurry? Do they show certain angles, or are they avoiding close-ups? Sometimes the seller only shows you angles that hide damage or imperfections. If you are unsure, you can always ask the seller to take extra pictures, even with their username written on a piece of paper next to it, and that way you can be sure that the pictures that they are sending are actually theirs. Second thing I always look at is the platform. Please, if you do buy cards online, only use a platform that offers buyer's protection. This could be, for example, Vinted, eBay, Card Market, and many more out there. These companies often use escrow, meaning that they will hold the money before you as the buyer approve that everything is okay, and only then the money will be released to the seller, and if something is wrong, you usually do get your money returned to you. Never send money directly. If a seller asks you to move off the platform to avoid fees, this is the fastest way to lose all your money. Avoid this at all costs. Next off, raw cards, meaning cards that are not yet graded. Personally, I love buying these, but I can tell you from personal experience, this is where most of the fake cards are. Once you have found a card online, always compare it to a high-resolution image of a real card online. Pay attention to the holo pattern. Real cards usually do have a very specific holographic pattern, while fake cards often use a very flat rainbow holo pattern. Next trick that you can use is the light trick. This is where you ask the seller to hold the card next to a very bright light. You can then see how much light passes through the cardboard. You can then replicate it at your home and compare the differences. However, I must tell you, this is not 100% reliable, so it can be used in certain circumstances. And if I'm still not convinced that the card is real or fake, there is always the rip test. And this, to my knowledge, only works for Pokémon cards. And this is where you take the supposed to be real or fake card, rip it in half, and this should reveal the dark layer between the cardboard. Now you're probably wondering, well Leonard, why would the seller go ahead and rip its supposed to be real card? Well, there's an easier way to tell this, and this is to look at the side of the card. If you have a sharp eye or have a microscope, you should be able to spot the dark layer from there as well. And if the card is fake, they almost always are totally white. Many collectors out there assume that a graded card is always safe. However, unfortunately, there are also fake slabs out there, so this is what I look for when buying graded cards online. So, first of all, the certification number. Always check out the certification number of the supposed to be graded card. Go to the official website of the grading company, fill in the certification number, and you should be redirected to an image of the card that they have taken when the card was graded. If there is a mismatch in holo pattern, you can almost be certain that this card is fake. And to get a little bit more technical, there are cases where a real slab has been opened with a real card. They then switch out the card with another real card, resend the better card for grading, and you're left with a graded card with a worse card inside. Often you will then see glue marks or something we call frosting. These are tiny little cracks at the edges of the graded card where stress has been applied to open up the case. And the last thing you should do is inspect the slab itself. A couple of things I like to look at is the label of the graded card. Is the font okay, and is there no weird spacing between the cards? Another thing I like to search for is the company logo. Is it present? Does the texturing look alright? As I mentioned before, it really is important to look up the graded card online, because only then you can really notice the small details. So you're certain that your graded card is real? Perhaps it's wise to check out the condition one more time so you can be sure that the grade it has been given is correct. If you have any other tips or tricks, please do share them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.